Hello and welcome. I'm Aziel, and today's discussion, which I wish to talk about, obviously you guys, I always welcome your comments, negative or positive. I always try to reply. I've had to reply to a lot of late ones today because I've just found those comments. I've left most of them at heart, but ones I found particularly poignant or something I didn't quite understand, I didn't leave a reply. So you do get them all read. I promise you, every comment that I find, I will read, and I will at least leave a heart and a like just for you guys, alright? That's it. Now, today's discussion is about piles of shame. I will never, ever call them a pile of opportunity. It is a negative term, I get it, but it's more to do with what it does to you as a person and what it represents. I do not have a pile of shame. I have a fully painted Imperial Fist army. I have a fully painted Sisters of Army, Imperial Guard. I have 3 factions painted for Wild West Exodus. Well, 2 full factions. I'm just working on my Soul Hunters now, which are for the Enlightened. I have a painted Chaos Space Marine army, mostly painted Eldari army, and these are the models I will build. I have built and paint, and when I get a model, I will build it pretty much the day I get it. It's my favourite part of a hobby, so I'm not so fussy when people build armies are great. I understand. I love building armies. Painting, yeah, I enjoy it, but to me, the building part is the bit I really enjoy. It's also why I kind of like Lego. It's just putting things together. It's something I enjoy. Now, when it comes to pile of shame, my biggest issue is it's not good for the person. It's not healthy. It will do you more harm than good. Wargaming, modelling, whatever, is very good for your mental health. It's fantastic. I don't know a mental health worker who has never said anything but praise for wargaming and modelling. It is such a great one. It's constructive, it's creative, it uses your logical side of the mind with instructions and how things go together. It's got sociable aspects. It works so well with people, especially people who suffer from depression, they're all on the spectrum, anxiety. It's great because it keeps your mind focused on a single subject and a single thing for hours at a time, and you can lose yourself into it. And I find myself doing this quite often. Like, I'll put on some music for YouTube and I'll just listen to the bands I like and just let them play through, and it'll be like 10, 20 songs later, but I've actually realised the music's still going, sort of thing. Now, the problem with piles of shame is that it harms you mentally. It might not feel like it might not look it, but it does. It does cause a lot of issues mentally. If you're into wargaming because you enjoy it, a pile of shame can start sapping that enjoyment from you. You look at your pile of shame, you feel bad for it, you kind of don't know what you're going to do next, you're stuck, you're confused. You have this big pile in front of you and you don't know what to do. And when you finally get to do something, you get the accomplishment of building and painting the model, which is a great feeling. I think it's fantastic. It's a great feeling to see something you've built and painted as now on your shelf or in your cabinet or whatever, and you feel great for it. It's fantastic. It's one of the best parts of a hobby because it gives you a positive dopamine hit, which actually builds your confidence because you can see you've done something. But when you have that pile of shame, you've built something. The next thought in your mind will be, I've still got so much to do. Then for building and painting a model becomes less of an enjoyable thing that you're getting into. It's more of something you've got to do to finish something else off. It's a step rather than being what it should be, which is its own thing. It includes like when you have a big army, each model should be focused on that single accomplishment, which is why my painting can go from fantastic to, well, not fantastic. I'm not the best painters, but some models I have which I'm really proud of, and I'm really glad I painted that model. It looks fantastic. It's brilliant. It looks great, and I put that model front and center in my army. That will be front and center because I'm so proud of it. So, but when it comes to a pile of shame, like I said, when you finished that model, it ends up just feeling a next step into a bigger issue, a bigger project. You stop thinking that this army here is the army I'm working on, this army here is my next project. You just end up thinking that your project is that pile. And you could have hundreds of miniatures in there. You know, some very big, which takes longer, and some very small, which might take a lot less time. But each one just ends up being that step. And you end up getting fatigued by painting something over and over again. Especially if you are into one army. And this is one thing I've always said, that when it comes to wargaming, you should get varied models. One of the reasons I'm not a fan of meta chasers. You should vary your models up. You should get lots of different looking ones and have lots of different models, and they all, so that, you know, each one feels like its own unique project that you can work on. It might take you a day, it might take you a week, it might take you a month, but each one is that project that you're working on, and that's the one you're focusing on. Then it comes to the spending aspect. Now, I'm not going to call anyone responsible spenders, because that's not right. I do think you need to think about how you spend your money. I always give you guys the respect that I believe that you are buying within your means. You're not overspending. I will never make that judgment on anyone, even if they have a massive pile of shame. I do not make that judgment. I will always assume you're spending within your means. But the thing is, with buying stuff, it does provide a dopamine hit. It provides that nice little bit of happiness that you get from purchasing an item. And then, but when you get home, you will lose that dopamine and that happiness when you see your pile of shame. So any benefit you got from actually spending the money will be quickly lost upon seeing that pile. And if anything else, it'll make it even worse, because you now realise you've added to that pile as well. And so, this is what I think. Like I said, I don't have a pile of shame. I have unpainted models which I'm working through. The way I do this is I buy my models once a month. So I may get a little pile of shame, but by the end of the month they will all be built. Pretty much by the end of the week they'll all be built. And hopefully by the end of the month after, they will all be painted as well. And I keep a few unpainted just in case I run out, and I can continue painting anyway. So I'll always have something on the go that's ready to go and ready to paint. But like I said, building is the big thing for me. And like I said, when you lose that dopamine hit from seeing your pile of shame, it's going to make you less reluctant to be in the hobby as well. And when you go onto social media and you see people with their fantastic painted minis, and they look great, you're going to feel even worse, because you have all these miniatures there looking at you, ready to be built and painted, and you see these standards of, and you're going to judge yourself by that standard. You're going to judge yourself like, oh my god, this is fantastic. I will never do that. What's the point? And then you look at your big pile of shame and you go, well, I've got all that to do. I'm never going to get to this standard. What's the point? And you're going to start sort of sapping your energy and your enjoyment for the hobby. And it's a very self-recurring issue. The start and end will be constantly the same. You'll go out, you'll buy something, you add it to your pile of shame, you see something on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, oh that's fantastic, you look at your pile of shame, I'll never achieve that. You go out, buy something else, get the dopamine hit, lose the dopamine hit, feel even worse for yourself, and it will go on and on. You need to break the cycle. And first thing you need to do is to stop purchasing. I know it sounds like me talking about how this is irresponsible spending. No, it's not. Like I said, I respect you guys to say that you buy within your means. But you do need to stop spending. You need to say, right, I have these many models I need to finish building. Okay. If I buy more, I'm going to feel worse. If I see other people's models which are painted well, I'm going to feel worse. Then you go, right, I'm not going to buy any more. That's your first thing. Doesn't matter what you see. I would ignore any. I would definitely stay off any hobby or game site or channel or anything like that deliberately, so you don't feel the need or get excited about a new model. And it includes me. Like when I review a model, if you are in this period, don't watch my model reviews if you're in this period, because I don't want you to get hyped up for a model, buy it, and make yourself feel worse. I talk about models that I enjoy, and that's what I do. But I don't want you to feel worse because I'm excited about something. I'm not going to stop. But I want you guys to be healthy. I want you guys to be mentally fit. I want you to be put in a good frame of mind. And then take 3 boxes, just 3, doesn't matter which 3, just randomly pick, just take the top 3, put them on your desk or wherever you do your modelling and your painting, put them there, grab the rest, put them in a box or in a cupboard or in a drawer, or out of sight, out of mind. And then once you finish those 3 boxes, go up to your wherever you put them, take the next 3 boxes, put them on your... And when you get to a point where you go, you know what, I can see this going down now. I'm in a good place where I can start seeing this getting, you know, to an achievable state where buying another box wouldn't be such an issue. Then you just buy the 1 box. Don't go out and spend £200-300 on a whole new army because, you know, oh, I'm really excited for this army. Buy the 1 box for that army. See how you enjoy it. Then when you get to your pile of shame next, you take out 2 boxes and your new box. Then you paint those and build those. Well, build those and paint those, unless you paint on a sprue, up to you. So it's your models. And then you'll see it going down again. But because you are offsetting the expenditure with the amount of the size of a pile of shame, the amount you take from the pile of shame, you never make sure you buy more than you're adding to the pile. And once you'll see, sooner or later, it'll take about maybe a year or so, you'll see that you've built up the collection and the army that you've wanted, you know, the new army you've started. At the same time, you've removed your pile of shame at the same time. You've helped yourself. And you will feel so good about doing that. But when you start going out and buying more for yourself, you know, you start going back, you know, you start getting more interactive into a hobby and focusing on the bigger aspect of it, you'll start seeing things like, wait, I don't actually need that model. It's a cool looking model, I like it, but I don't actually need it. And then you start realising that what the hobby is about, it's about you and your enjoyment of it. It's not about people selling you stuff, giving you the hard sell and, you know, telling you how to paint models. It's about you and you personally and your enjoyment of a hobby. And then you'll start getting all the benefits back from the hobby. You'll start feeling more confident. You'll start feeling better about yourself. Your depression will rise, or lower. Your depression will lower, I should say. Your anxiety would go down lower. If you're autistic like me, you'll start feeling more sociable, because then that's another great part of this hobby. The social aspect is very much in your control. And you'll start feeling good about yourself again. You'll start feeling yourself again. And that's what's important here. And there you go. That's this video. I'm sorry it's a bit of a deeper one. It's a bit of a mental health video. But, you know, it's something I think needed to be spoken about. And I think it's something that people need to learn about. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know. Like, I understand the irony that I'm going to advertise a hobby shop, which is Wayland Games. But this is one of my businesses, so there you go. And that's at free delivery after £20. There's also Forbidden Planet for comics, DVDs, mangas, etc. and everything else. For anything that's cool and geeky, you can buy it there. There is my merchandise, stickers, cups, t-shirts, and there is my comics. And finally, there's Skyforge as well. I will never forget Skyforge. He's a good friend of mine. Give that guy a click. And finally, Patreon, because business. Bye-bye.